mellow hello to all of you out there. Just another average day here on this channel. First, I just want to point out a few things. I got a tattoo! It's my first one, so please be nice to me and just tell me how awesome and cute it is. The ring light I ordered is finally here, so now my lighting is going to go from subpar to not quite professional grade. Also, it makes the self-tanner I put on completely disappear. So I never expected anybody to like my day in the life of a gate agent video. To be honest, I don't really expect anybody to like anything I upload. But a lot of you were asking questions about the hiring process and how exactly I got the job that I have. Well, if I don't have great news for you, welcome to how to get an airline to hire you. From the interview process all the way to actually getting hired and working at the airport that I work at. I might even share some tips and tricks along the way, but you'll just have to wait and find out. And with all that being said, let's get into it. Step number 1, the application process. Now, this is where you dust off that old resume of yours and spruce it up to make yourself look fabulous on paper. Airlines are looking for a very specific type of person. Now, as you're applying for these positions, make sure you do the research on what you're even applying for. Are you applying to be a gate agent, a ramp agent, a flight attendant, ticket agent, baggage, a pilot? In that case, I suggest you watch a different video because you're gonna have to go to flight school and flock flight hours and actually learn how to fly a plane, which I cannot help with any of. Disclaimer. And research the companies that you're actually applying for. The more you know about the positions you're applying for and the companies that you're applying for, the better this whole process is going to be for you. Airlines are usually looking for a very specific type of person. And if you don't fit into the mold that they're looking for, or you don't seem like you are going to be able to be molded into what they're looking for, then your application is going straight into the trash. Highlight all of the customer experience you have. And if you don't have a lot of customer experience, then you're gonna have to work extra hard to get their attention. Let them know how punctual you are. Let them know how ambitious you are. Let them know that you do well under pressure. Let them know how fast you can type. Let them know how great you are with computers. Because guess what? They're looking for someone that can do all of that. Spoiler, you're gonna have to deal with all of this once you actually get the job. So juice up your resume, fill out the standard application that most companies have, and then it's just really a waiting game. Step numero 2. That's right, there's an interview before the interview. But this should be far less stressful than any interview you've partaken in the past. So what happened with me is that they had me download a specific phone application, type in a interview code, and then I needed to record my answers to the question prompts. Now the cool thing with this is if you don't like the answer that you've given to any of the questions, or you flubbed up halfway through, or you notice that you've had a booger hanging out of your nose the entire time, you can scrap it and re-record it as many times as you need to, which is great because you can't do that in a face-to-face interview. Now you typically only get about a minute to respond to each question, so whereas I would usually say go into as much detail as you can, in this case, keep it simple, but also try and use up the whole minute that you're allotted. Some of the questions may include, what is your greatest achievement to date? Why do you want to work for our company? What about this position excites you? Tell us about a time in a past position where you went above and beyond to make a customer happy who maybe wasn't all that jazzed at the beginning of your interaction. This is where you really get to let your personality shine. Be enthusiastic. Be upbeat, be cheerful, be exactly like I am being right now, even if you have to fake it. Am I like this 24/7? Hell no, but I'm not gonna let them know that. To them, I am a overly happy, overly cheerful, overly ambitious person who is just waiting to deal with disgruntled, stranded passengers. honestly, just show them what they want to see. Don't go too overboard like you're auditioning for a play role. So once you've recorded your answers to all the questions to the best of your ability, hit send, and again, you're back to the good old waiting game. Step number 3. You've received a phone call. They loved your video interview. They want to meet you face to face. Oh my god, this is like, this is the moment you've been waiting for, but not quite. See, this is the step in the process where they gather multiple candidates and bring them in at the same time. So usually they'll give you a couple dates and a couple times. You pick the date and time that works best for you. You go in along with 15 to 20 other people. This is where the pressure really starts to get high. This is your make or break moment, because it's not just you and the person that's going to hire you. There's a ton of you there. This is really where they start to pit you against each other, and not in like a Hunger Games kind of way. Now, my experience was it was about me and 20 other people, and they gathered us all into a single conference room. They then went through a PowerPoint presentation that highlighted the responsibilities of the role that we were there to interview for, along with the potential hours that we would be working. They also talked about the benefits, because let me tell you, you ain't going to be making anything fabulous working for an airline. Unless you're a flight attendant. Flight attendants make pretty good money. But gate agent, ramp agent, ticket agent, baggage, don't expect to make more than $14 an hour. Honestly, the only reason anybody really works for an airline is the travel benefits. They'll reel you in. They'll entice you. Then they break it down, separate you one by one for face-to-face, one-on-one interviews. So you've captivated them on paper. You've captivated them via video. Now you have to captivate them in person. Wear your best business clothes that you own. And if you don't own anything, go and buy something. Appearance is key. Wear something that you would potentially wear to court. Wow, that's like terrible analogy, but I mean, that's like kind of terrible advice, but not really. If you're wearing something that would impress a judge to let you off the hook of either a minor or major crime, then I'm sure the person who's in charge of hiring for an airline will love it. Now, during the group session in the conference room, your behavior is key. Pay attention. And not only pay attention, but look like you're paying attention. Make it super obvious that you are being attentive and that you are soaking in everything that they're telling you, like your life depends on it. Like that is the very life source that is keeping you alive. Don't fidget in your chair. Keep your phone in your purse or your coat pocket. Better yet, leave your phone in the car. These airline jobs are going to require you to be able to sit in a very public area for long periods of time where you just sit there. You can't be on your phone. You can't be doing any other little things to try and entertain yourself. You have to sit there, be attentive to your computer screen, and you need to be attentive to any passengers that are, 1, watching you, and 2, coming up to you and asking you the same question over and over and over and over and over again. So if you're fiddling with a pen or a pencil, or you're constantly checking your phone, to them, that makes it look like you've got a really short attention span. And more likely than not, they're just gonna ask you to leave. So yes, pay attention. And when they're done with their presentation, ask questions. And the only way that you're going to be able to ask good, thought out questions is if you were paying attention to what they were saying. So then when you get pulled aside for your one-on-one interview, they already like you. They've already formed a positive opinion. And then you just nail the one-on-one interview. I mean, they're pretty typical interview questions. Very similar to the questions that you may get in the video interview, only there's a little bit more of them and they're looking for a little bit more of a detailed answer. And then when that's all done, guess what? That's right, you wait. Step number 4. So the hiring process for an airline is really long. And that's because they're usually hiring a lot of people for a lot of positions. I mean, my case, for example, I applied and got called in for the group interview about a month and a half later, started my job another month and a half later. 3 months. 3 month. A friend of mine who is now a flight attendant for a very prominent airline, she applied in September, didn't get called for an interview until March, didn't get hired and start training until June. So you're gonna have a lot of patience. You're gonna have to be in it for the long haul. It's totally chill to maybe send an email or have a phone call a couple weeks after the interview, just checking in, saying, hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. Just wanted to see how far along you are in the process. That just reinforces that you're still interested and really want to work for them. But don't send multiple emails to the point where you're badgering. It's like you want to sound eager, but not to the point of being desperate. Step number 5. They call you. They say they would love to offer you the job. Angels above, thank you for your mercy. At least that was my reaction when I got my phone call. So yeah, they want to hire you. So they give you a job offer with a few contingencies. Do you know why it took so long for me to start working after they initially offered me the job? Because you're going to be working for an airline in an airport and need to pass a federal background check and drug screening. So, if you have a criminal record, I'm sorry, better luck next time. Your criminal history needs to be flawless. Your driving history needs to be flawless. Because yes, you do need to have a driver's license. If you don't have a valid driver's license, they're not gonna hire you. I mean, if you have like a couple parking tickets, that's fine, or like a speeding ticket, that's fine. But I mean, if you're like a registered sex offender, or you've like kidnapped someone, or I don't know, have like threatened to hijack a plane, they're not gonna hire you. So they give you this thick ass packet that you have to fill out, and you have to be thorough. I mean, you have to list every parking ticket that you've ever had, every speeding ticket that you've ever had, any other minor or major traffic violation you've ever had, if you've ever been convicted of a crime, any addresses that you've lived at for the past 10 years, any schools you've attended, every single job you've ever had, including position, company, dates worked, addresses, telephone numbers, supervisors. I mean, they want to know everything. And if you leave anything out, immediate disqualification. And I'm not even kidding. 4 people that were supposed to be in my orientation class didn't make it that far because of their federal background checks. So this is pretty serious stuff. Don't take it lightly. Fill out everything. Be 150,000% honest, because they will know if you are lying or omitting something. Next, you'll visit the on-campus clinic where you'll do your drug screening. This includes peeing in a cup and getting your blood drawn. So if you're afraid of needles, suck it up. Congratulations, everything comes back clear. You're not that much of a criminal where they'll take back their job offer, and your drug test came back negative. From there, you'll set up an orientation date and set up an appointment with your airport's security office so that you can get fingerprinted. Yes, I did say fingerprinted, and get your ID badge. Because yes, you'll be working at an airport, you're going to have access to secure locations and secure information, so you're going to need an ID badge. So orientation date, security clearance, usually the same day. If not the same day, they're usually within a couple days of each other. And then after orientation, you'll get your training schedule. I mean, from then on, you have the job. Then it's really just up to you. I cannot stress this enough. This process may differ from airline to airline. This is just how it happened. This is just how it happened to work out for the airline that I work for. It may be completely different for another airline, and then again, completely different for another airline. Just have confidence in yourself and have patience in the process, because it's going to be long. If you found this video at all helpful, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more slightly useful or just dumb content from yours truly. And as long as you're down there, might as well hit that notification bell, because again, Why not? And go ahead and leave a comment below if you have gone through the interview process for an airline. If you got hired, what position you got hired for. I would love to know. And with all that being said, bye!